Booties!
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 21 of Unleash the Podcast. We really appreciate you guys being here, as you are every single week. And this week we actually have some pretty big news. We'll be getting more into that pretty quick into the show, but it's starting to look like me and John don't have to do any more work to pull this thing off anymore pretty soon.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, we're getting close to that, so we'll delve a little deeper into that as well. Some other quick housekeeping things to talk about that happened this week. John, we got episode number 2 of The In Crowd.
Yes, we did.
So what'd you think of that, John? I'm sure you watched it.
I thought it was... Yeah, I did watch it. It was good. It was... how do I put this? I don't know. It didn't have as much... It didn't have as much pop. It didn't hit me as hard as the other one did. I thought the first one had some good one-liners. The characters were kind of fleshed out. They all kind of had their role kind of fleshed out individually in the first episode. It didn't really seem like it was as defined in this one. I think Hyped was a better character in this one than the others. I think my not disdain, but my I don't know what the right word to use is. My not as into itness was because Gara, we didn't see the whole like Gara thing kind of come to fruition as much as I wanted it to. But I mean, I'm asking way too much out of like a 2-minute like cartoon short.
Yeah,
like I'm probably the only person that actually cares this much, but
I laughed last week, like we're critiquing it like it's a 30-minute sitcom. But
I know
it's just so goofy and so interesting that it's fun to talk about.
I really like it. Yeah,
I love it still, and I think it's gonna be kind of like a 30-minute sitcom, and that there's some episodes that are funnier than others, and you know they showed they're going to have a consistent storyline that's going to kind of progress as you move through the episodes instead of being kind of random and just like here's a completely different situation or something. But yeah, it to me wasn't quite as funny.
Didn't have the pop. I think that's just the best way to say it. I don't know.
But it
doesn't really make any sense, but that's exactly what it was.
Right. But it did definitely do a good job of like pushing the storyline and letting you know what they're gonna be doing. So it's definitely something I'm still very interested to keep tabs on and keep watching.
Absolutely.
And I'm curious to see with the next one, we'll kind of get an idea for, is there some schedule to it? You know, are they aiming for every 2 weeks or 3 weeks? I think it is roughly what it was this time. So
yeah,
we'll start to get an idea of that. But also,
maybe at the end of their season we can get Ruben back on to talk about it.
Yeah, talk about his experience writing it, because it's definitely got to be a challenge, and I'm sure he'd enjoy talking about some of our favorite jokes and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, since he's got that unique perspective of having written them. Then we can have the awkward moment where we tell him, you know what, we didn't like that joke. Jim thought that was a Farsight deck joke, and it wasn't. And he was wrong. But anyways, nonetheless.
Here's the real question. If we can talk about a 3-minute short for this long, how great would our future to be announced but not actually in planned Game of Thrones podcast be?
I mean, it would probably be just as bad as this one, but hopefully we can just get our usual crowd of people to come watch that one anyways. And I mean, I'm positive Katie Bug at bare minimum would show up. She's there for everything. She's got to get caught up though in Game of Thrones.
And I can use my new handle, Cowlisi. What was the moniker?
The Blevine leader of the Great Grass Sea, I think it was.
I want that tattooed on me somewhere.
Yeah, I'm glad you were a fan of it. I wasn't even sure it fit in, because I don't know how
it doesn't. But I'm just so stupid.
You just throw your name into like anything that's even close.
I will laugh. Anything that's even remotely close, I will laugh.
So it works. It gets there.
Yeah.
I feel like my name should be easier to move into things, but it's really just not.
I mean, Edwin Van Reed was pretty great.
It's definitely not too bad. I don't even know why. It doesn't make any sense. It just worked.
Nope, it's just a one-syllable, like, hard E word.
Yeah, and something else that happened this week to kind of move on a little bit was
from absolute nothing.
We're going to be talking about how we think there's going to be a new set coming up, and we're going to learn a whole lot of information 2 weeks from now is going to be a super probably exciting episode, I would think, or a hugely disappointed two people sitting here just shaking our heads and talking about what happened to our game and when our Game of Thrones podcast will in fact be starting.
Yeah. We're going to just transition fully.
Right. So yeah, but basically it looks like there's going to be a new set coming out, and we'll explain it. And this week somebody started tweeting, and this is a Tempo Storm player, their newest one, Tempo Eloise, started to throw out some images of some card art that were not cards that currently exist in any form in Hearthstone, and they were kind of presented like spoilers or leaks for the new set. And it turns out maybe those weren't the case, John. I know you've definitely been, like, I had to ask you for information about it because I didn't know what was going on. So
I frequent the Hearthstone Reddit every once in a while, every day, and I look on Twitter a bunch, but I was like gone for a day from Twitter. I don't remember why. I probably had a heart attack or something. And I see people talking about these. I see Hearthstone people, because I follow poker people, Magic people, celebrities, etc. I see Hearthstone people talking about these things that I've never heard of, and I'm like, what? And people were complaining. They're like, oh, this card is OP, and I'm like, what are they talking about? This isn't a Magic card. This isn't a Hearthstone card. I look, and it's like this Murloc that is like a 1/3 for 2 battle cry, summon 2/1/1 Murlocs, and whenever you summon a Murloc, restore this minion to full health. And I'm like, did they just break the game? Because I think they did. And then I look, and there's all these other cards, and people are like, I hope these aren't real, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, man. And there's some pretty sick cards. I think all the cards that she spoiled and were epic, and they all traced back to her. And I'm like, oh, man, I got to see the Reddit, see what people are saying. Because people are either raging or they're saying fake. So I need to figure out which. And the Reddit, the Reddit, like, hive mind eventually figured out that they're from this Chinese Reddit page where this guy made all these do-it-yourself, like, real-looking cards and posted them on there. And I guess in her defense, she wasn't like, hey, guys, check out these spoilers, new cards from the new set. She just posted a picture of the card and translated what it said from Chinese, which, you know, I don't know. I don't really know where they're coming from this perspective, because, like, you know, she's a new player on Temperstorm, but apparently she has a huge following. You know, she's a Chinese player, I think Chinese, and she streams, and she's now on Temperstorm. So, you know, she has a decent amount of clout where if she does something, people are going to watch. And if she's just posting these cards, translating them, not saying anything else, people are going to assume they're spoilers. You wouldn't assume that these cards were fake cards because they don't look like fake cards. They look like real cards. So, you know, did Tempo Storm do this on purpose to get her some followers, to get some buzz going about Tempo Storm? I don't know. It worked because we're talking about it on the podcast, but was that the point? Like, and that, you know, that kind of brings up the larger point of, you know, what kind of responsibility do these teams and team members, I guess I don't know why I did air quotes there, they actually are teams, you know, these team members have in terms of integrity on Twitter and such. Because, you know, something like this happened in baseball. All those professional athletes, they all go through training. They all have contracts where, you know, they can and can't say certain things, and they have to do, you know, certain things. And even, you know, like matured esports teams, like, you know, League of Legends teams, StarCraft players, all that sort of stuff. They, you know, they take media training so that, and PR training so that they don't do stupid stuff on Twitter and get people, you know, making the team look bad. Right. Now, I don't think that this was too egregious, honestly. I mean, it's probably just, I mean, if she did it on purpose and was like, hey, spoilers, guys, check out these spoilers, check out my page for more spoilers, check out Tempo Storm, they're going to show you the spoilers first, and they weren't real spoilers, you know, that's a no-go. That's bad. But if she just posts them, doesn't say anything except for the translation, doesn't say if they're spoilers or not, and people go there and they make the story themselves, I say fair play, but it's a little sketch.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add. The way I'd interpreted it from what I read after you kind of told me, and like I looked into some of the Reddit post or what have you about it, people were talking about it like she was like posting them as spoilers, and if she just posted them with with the translation, and I don't. It's not even anything that.
I checked her Twitter.
Anymore.
I checked her Twitter. She didn't say that. I don't think she said there were spoilers, but when I looked at her Twitter and the pictures, they looked like they were spoilers.
Right.
It's just that sort of thing. I mean, they were posted in the exact sort of way that like anyone else who was spoiling a card on Twitter would have spoiled it. Right. They don't necessarily say this is a spoiler. They just post the card, and if it's in a different language, they'll translate it. Boom.
Yeah. For the sake of like doing something that keeps people from freaking out and getting upset about things. It's like lesson learned. I'm sure. I'm sure
lesson learned that this is exactly what you should do if you want people to talk about your Twitter feed for 48 hours.
Yeah, I mean, but if it's with a negative connotation, it seems kind of annoying. But anyways, to me, it's already gotten way more.
I agree.
Way more conversation than it's worth.
Agree.
unless they're like calling them spoilers, like you said, then it's something to me. But we mentioned some talk about a possible new set. And this is why. Blizzard sent out these little announcements, and they came in these tubes that you open the tubes, and they play this kind of...
sometimes they just come in bags like this.
You got one?
Caught one!
It didn't make sense, because they're specifically like in the tubes. Like you pop the tube, and it plays... It plays music, like a revelry kind of thing.
Yeah.
So... there's this definite feel to it, and I kind of came to the same popular conclusion that a lot of people did. And, the first thing that came to mind from anybody that's a WoW player is Argent Tournament. It has this kind of, like, this feel to it, and the way the music was, it's really hard to describe. I don't have it to play for you. I will, in the link at the bottom of the YouTube video, have a link to the article that was really the first person to announce it and get the word out there, and he recorded his opening of it, so you can hear the music a little bit. And I'll read you kind of a transcription here of what the scroll says if you're not able to see the screen or can't read that. It says, champions are gathering from around the world to witness the next exciting thing Hearthstone has in store. News travels far and wide in search of brave new faces ready to answer the call to arms. Are you one of them? Muster for battle and mark July 22nd on your calendar. The next bit of news won't come by carrier pigeon. Thankfully, we have better ways of communication now. Victory awaits. So anybody not familiar what the Argent Tournament was the preparation of Tyrion Fordring called the great warriors from both the Horde and the Alliance to meet at the Argent Tournament battlegrounds. To test themselves for battle and go in to be able to defeat Arthas. And this is exactly what this kind of has this feel of. Like, this is come here, do battle, hone your skills. Victory awaits. Is it victory against Arthas? So this set could kind of lead up to and set up the next solo adventure, which could very well be Icecrown Citadel.
Now that would be cool if they actually tied this. If they started tying the set in with the solo adventure instead of having it be random. That would be kind of cool. If they did like almost like blocks with Magic, where like you have Argent Tournament Citadel like be a block, then they do something else the next one where it's like tied in. That would be really sweet if they did that. And actually, right before I called you, I was on Reddit, and they apparently posted another an innkeeper story.
I read it.
That I didn't get it, but I didn't understand what it was in terms of lore, but from what people were saying on the Reddit post, they said it led them to believe Argent Tournament as well.
So basically what that story is it's a tale of the innkeeper who's talking about all these strange places or strange faces that were around today at the inn. They've all moved on since then, but she's just talking about they're all in this bright kind of ornate armor. Everybody was, even I can't remember the exact thing, but it's like some animal.
You said the magic users or something. Oh, the unicorn. There was a unicorn.
Yes, a unicorn, and the spellcasters were even in this like ornate armor. So it'll really be interesting to see exactly where they go with this. But the timing is right for a new set, and this is a big hype. This isn't this isn't something small that can kind of be shrugged off, and this doesn't have the feel of the mysterious patron announcement that they made with Magni. This is a bigger deal. They mailed things to people and like created this buzz on the internet. You know what I mean? That was outside of their media. So this is a bigger deal. This is something content driven.
Right. This is like what they did for the release of the newest WoW expansion. Did you hear about that in New York City with the Gore Howl? Yep. Yeah, that was so sweet. They had a life-size Gore Howl chopped through a car in the street in New York City for the release of Burning. No, I don't remember I don't know what the new thing's called. Whatever it's called, Warlords of Draenor. There we go. Yeah. So this is that. I mean, obviously, it's not as cool as a gigantic Gore Howl tearing through a car, but it is pretty sweet that you know, they did a sort of you know, extended reality marketing scheme, which is really cool, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, it's definitely like you say, it's similar to it, but the games aren't really on the same level for how much money they make and how much the advertising pushing. The number of former WoW players in existence on this planet is mind-numbing. And when they can attract them to come back, even for just a couple months, that's that many subscriptions that are $15 a month, and you know, it's just such a big deal to them that Hearthstone might have way outperformed their expectations, but compare the size of the development teams, you know what I mean, like all these things, it's just not close. But it has that same kind of epic feel to it, and it's really cool for sure. Blizzard didn't put out much of an announcement when they stuck Gore Howl through a taxi cab and put it in Times Square. They just put it there, and
that's
people
the
were
best
like,
part.
What's going on?
You know, as someone who, you know, studied marketing and advertising, that sort of stuff, it's like that's exactly what you want. You don't even you let the media make your advertisement for you. You just put the thing there. You know, what are the chances that there's this Gore Howl here? Well, let's clean this up, guys. You know, that's you don't even need to post the thing on your website. It's going to make its rounds, and that's when. And then it has the organic, you know, transfer, and people find out about it organically. It's like it's a really cool, innovative, and exciting thing from all parties.
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, like we said, and just kind of repeating myself, it's a big deal, and they're making it a big deal, so it leads us to think that we're gonna get new cards, new content, and it's going to be fairly important. But another curious thing that kind of leads you towards, is this the Argent tournament, or is this going to be something else? I'm going to name some characters that show up at different points during either the quests or the raid instance at the Argent tournament grounds. The Black Knight, Tyrion Fordring, let's see, Lord Jaraxxus, that's where he makes his appearance. Let's see, I'm blanking on some other ones. You see, obviously, Garrosh, I think, is there representing the Horde. And some of these are going to be different. You know, you're going to have some things that are alliance-based that I don't even know. But there's some major tie-ins here already to Hearthstone that makes you think they really might use this, because the characters that we already know from the game are so involved, and it's going to work so organically. I'm trying to think if there was anybody notable in the faction champions. It doesn't look that way.
I thought that was Valera, but this says Valina.
Yeah, and I thought I saw the new Illyria Windrunner. I thought I saw her name for a second too, but it was something else. Just anyways, yeah, I mean, there's a couple big tie-ins there, so it's definitely where I think it's headed, and it's really starting to build momentum, and people are really almost assuming it's true, so it's going to be awkward if it's not. Right. And
yes, it is.
Curiously, though, we will get to make the announcement the day everybody finds out, because it will be happening on a Wednesday. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet.
That is sick, man. Blizzard really did just align all of their stuff with the podcast.
They're helping us out, man. They got our backs. Ben Brode's long been a viewer. I think he's the first viewer. Like, he was the first.
He is.
In chat.
Ben Brode is Haymaker.
First day, yeah. if that was true, then everything I just said is true. That's probably accurate. All right. Well, another conversation we're going to have here, kind of driven by the fact that it's now or never for this change in this particular conversation to happen, and that's is enough already? Is Grim Patron too OP? Do they need to make a change and give it a nerf of some kind or a buff of some kind? You make this guy have 4 power.
Yeah, that's true.
He gets a buff, but
gets significantly worse.
Yeah, the combo doesn't necessarily work so much. John, I'll let you kind of just lead us off. What do you think about the Grim Patron OP conversation?
So, at first I thought it was like, this is really stupid. You people, you just don't understand. You never played the deck. He's not too OP. He's perfectly fine. Don't listen to him, Grimmy. Don't listen to him, Grimmy. They don't know what they're talking about, kid. You just keep on doing what you're doing. But I saw a really interesting post, and the poster probably didn't mean it to be smart. They were probably just being a moron, but it made me think. In one of the tournaments, I think happened recently, Gara was at 52 health as a priest with armor somehow. I don't know. Probably Nefarian or something. I don't know. Had armor, 52 armor. He got one-shotted by Patron combo. That's the sort of thing they don't want to have happen, right? They don't... every other combo that can even remotely consistently do over 30 damage, they've nerfed. They nerfed the old... Molten Giant deck that we've talked about at great lengths on this show. They nerfed Miracle Rogue. They've nerfed basically everything that allows you to, you can probably do it from nothing, or with Thorison you can certainly do it from nothing with nothing on board. If you can kill someone in one turn, they don't want it in Hearthstone, and they've said that multiple times. And not only that, that alone might not be... you can probably have some sort of Raging Worgen combo that's inconsistent and really bad that you can kill people with, or like an Inner Fire deck that's terrible that you kill people in one turn with. The problem is that even without the combo, this deck is just super good. It's like the best deck in the format, and it's been the best deck for a while.
I just want to point out that very recently they've come out with an Inner Fire combo deck that's gaining popularity because it's fairly decent and consistent.
Really?
Because it's got like multiple targets for it. It plays Deathlord, but it means to use different things.
Don't say it uses the 1/3 charge or 1/4 charge.
It's like I think it's the Wind Fury guy. It might be no, it is the charge guy. You're right, because it's
the 1/4 charge and the 1/4 Wind Fury.
Yeah, and it also uses Stormwind Knight.
Cummings brewed this deck. This is Cummings' deck. No one tell him. He made this deck like months ago.
Well, it all depends on how close it is. Having the combo pieces doesn't make the combo deck as we can kind of learn with Patron too. But
yeah, that is true. But if that is actually a deck, I'm giving Cummings credit, even though I don't want to.
You'll have to check out the list. It's on Hearthstone. It's like the Crusher combo priest. Or something like that. But
so what do you think, Jim? Does Patron, the deck, the card, other need the nerf? Is it too oppressive?
No, I don't think it's really oppressive at all. I mean, it is like the most difficult top tier deck I've seen in this game. Sure. More so than Miracle Rogue, and it's you see people play it, and there's a situation where Trump was doing a stream and he didn't think he had lethal and he doesn't go for it, and one of his viewers that plays clearly a ton of Patron, because he saw the lethal that Trump couldn't see and did the math on it right away and knew, and he screenshotted it, and it takes a long time to see it, and it's not super obvious. Like that's what playing this deck to its maximum potential means, is spotting lethal from places where it seems impossible, and it's there, and those are the plays they don't like, so I could see it, but you're not highlighting Grim Patron when you win that way.
Right.
So it's it's Frothing Berserker that's doing it. So I think
True.
if we're going to see a nerf, it's going to be something to Frothing Berserker. It might cost 4 mana soon.
Make him a 3/3. Or no, it doesn't work. Make him a 4/2 instead of a 2/4.
Then he's just super bad in like any iteration of it. Like I would almost want to see him as like a 3/5 for like 5 mana or something. Like I don't know, like 4 mana.
No,
even.
Yeah, you know, I see what you mean.
You know.
Yeah, and here's why I like the deck. And I'm not the best pilot with it. I was decent when I was playing it a lot. I've gotten worse with it. I could tell. I tried to play it on the stream last week, and I was not nearly as good as I used to be with it. But you watch some random schmuck like me play it, and I'll play it all right. And they'll be like, yeah, you know, Patron's decent. It's good. He's winning a decent amount. You see a master. You see Sifka play with Patron, and you wonder if he's using the same. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant. You see Sifka play this deck, and you're wondering if he's using the same cards as you. Because seeing a master play a deck like this it's really one of the more impressive things you can see in Hearthstone, and it really just seeing someone who knows the deck so well. I'm guessing Zixo probably is good enough with it. Yeah, he's probably a master with it as well. Seeing those guys play it, it's just like you said, the guy in chat probably as well. I don't know who, maybe he was a real person. But yeah, just seeing those crazy lethals and seeing them just spotted out so quickly is just insane. And I think personally that I want those in the game, even if I'm not good enough to you know, maximize these things. And I'm sure I've missed more than my fair share of lethals playing this deck. But I like to be able to play a deck a lot and get rewarded for playing it better. And I like there to be that goal that I can strive to, where if I play this deck perfectly and I can see, you know, 4 turns in advance and plan it out, and I have these complex board states and I can do the math quick enough, I'll get rewarded to the maximum amount. Yeah. Even if that maximum amount is broken, I don't think that's a problem for the game. I think that's actually a good thing for the game because it rewards people for playing well and playing deck consistently.
Yeah, the bat phone rang and I'm on call this week, and it was, don't worry guys, it was just NFL Mobile letting me know something.
Oh, I got drafted.
No, but somebody had their finger amputated, so I had to get a notification clearly. Yeah, man, one of the Giants, he had a fireworks accident on the 4th of July.
Oh my God. I felt bad for about 2 seconds, then you said fireworks.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with football.
Moron.
So yeah, I lost the exact spot in the conversation. Like I feel like you just asked me a question.
I didn't ask you a question. I just said that I like there being the skill cap that's very high, where if you play a deck to absolute perfection, you're going to win a lot and in stylish fashion. Yeah,
so I'm going to look up my numbers because I've just played a ton of this deck, especially recently, and I hit Legend with it last season. You know, overall, I only have a 56% win rate with it, and that's over close to 200 games. That includes all the games where I was learning it. I mean, I was just fairly bad with it for quite a while. But what tells me is that it's a skill game is my percentage against Warrior. Okay? Control Warrior's not a great matchup for Patron. No. It's okay, it's passable, it's in the 50% range, probably 45% one way or the other, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the Patron mirror should be 50-50 as well. I'm 71% in the Warrior matchup. 22-9 is the record for what I have in my stats program. And it's because it's about, like you said, it's the setup. Do you see it 4 turns down the road?
Right.
The Warrior cards have always just agreed with me. It's why it's my only class. It's why I played it from day 1 to Legend for like the first time I ever got there. And then did the same thing the next season and like got to the final boss, getting close to the end of the season. And I didn't quite get there, but it's nonetheless, I mean, it's the deck that I've chosen to kind of call my specialty. And even though Patron and Control Warrior are super different, the ability to see how, you know, how best to get value from your Cruel Taskmasters hitting your Acolytes of Pain and keeping your activator for grow mash until the last possible minute, and you know what I mean.
Right.
The math is really what's changed drastically with Grim Patron, and you know, there's just more sitting back. You collect your combo pieces, but you play out all your weapons and everything like that. Like you mulligan very similarly, and so it's really helped me with Patron quite a bit. And I really think it's like you said, it's rewarding. It's a deck that's fun to play, and I watch other streams, people that are good players, and I'm just like I know you're typically a rogue player or you don't play this deck often, but like, how are you not doing this? Like, how do you not see that was just the worst time to battle rage? Like, I'm looking at it like, in 2 turns you're gonna battle rage for like 9 cards. What are you doing? And you know, it's just. It's one of those things, and maybe I'm fooling myself, and I'm not, you know, I'm wrong, and they're doing it right. I don't know, but those situations wouldn't stick out to me if I wasn't watching them lose when I had these, I had these issues. So I'm personally on the don't nerf it train. Let it get hit by the eventual nerf we talked about for Emperor Thorson. Like, that will do so much damage to this deck's explosive OTK potential when they just get to the point where they kind of have to take down Emperor Thorson in order to continue to make, you know, increase the card pool and increase the combos that can happen when you have 11 and 12 mana, which they don't normally have to plan around, but Emperor forces them to. So yeah, that's what I would do for it. But yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add before we move on.
Nothing other than don't nerf it until the new cards come out, and if it's still broken, then consider.
Yeah, and I don't think
if you're going to nerf it, I don't think it needs to be nerfed. But if you are going to, Ben Brode, because I know you're listening, don't do it until the new cards come out, because Patron is such a sweet card. Like absent the whole deck, it's such a sweet card, and I'd hate to see it get ruined before all the new cards come out, and maybe see it in something else. You know, it's like the type of card that's like almost, it's pretty close to being played in like mage as like a value card where you can just make a patron, but I mean, it's not good enough quite. But you know, new cards could make that happen. I don't know. I want to see it happen, but I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, if you're gonna nerf anything, I think it's Boom. I don't think it's needed. I just think you could do it, you know.
If you're gonna nerf anything in this deck, just nerf Warsong Commander. Like, that's very easily the pick. Don't nerf Grim Patron. Well, you could nerf Frothing too, but yeah, I think Frothing, absent this sort of combo, is a fine card.
I think it's a bad card that sees no play.
Yeah, but I think like from a card design perspective, I think it's a fine card.
Right.
I don't think it needs to get nerfed. I think
the deck would still exist if what's it called?
Raging Worgen?
No, the Commander, Warsong Commander.
Warsong Commander
only gave charge to 2 or less, because it would allow the Frothing Berserkers to get charge, but it would not allow you to do it with the Grim Patrons. So you'd have to set up more of that middle of the road. It would be weird.
Worse. It would be way worse. The Patron, like, why would you even play the Patron at that point?
Because it's so great at filling up your board to make your Frothing Berserkers just have
6 but I mean, you don't even get that many Frothing Berserkers though, or Patrons though, because you can't like okay, I'll play my Patron, attack, Whirlwind, get 3 guys. It's like you play your Patron, hope they don't kill it, attack, you have 1 extra guy, maybe if they have a small guy, and then you Whirlwind. Like, that's not nearly as good.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I feel like the Patrons attacking into guys just doesn't happen as much as like it feels like it does. Because your weapons, if you're controlling the game well, your weapons and your early creatures, like, they're making trades to get your armor smiths off the board and things like that. There's definitely times it completely does, but a lot of the times you're like playing the Patron on 6 mana without the without the charge, and then whirlwinding to help clear the board, and then Death's Bite to finish off the Sludge Belcher. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
It plays out that way almost as often as it plays out the other way. So I think it would still be a viable option.
That's true. Maybe that is the option. Maybe there we go. Maybe we fixed it. Maybe you fixed it, Jim.
It could be. I don't think it's broken. So hopefully they don't try to fix it.
I hope that if they don't fix it until the new cards come out, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's still the top of the meta after that, just for the sake of shaking things up, change it. Well, change something.
Right.
I don't care.
Sure.
Give it its run though. Give it its full due. All right. Moving on though. This week we have a very different Brawl.
Yeah, this one seems sweet.
It's good, and I've done it. I got my pack from it already.
I haven't played it at all yet, so you're getting me fresh.
Yeah, I deleted my deck because I don't think it was that great. But it was interesting. So in this Brawl, it's the Great Summoner Competition. Summoners from across the world have come to compete. When you cast a spell, a random minion of the same cost is summoned for you. So my opponent had... This is literally what happened in the game I won. My opponent had lethal on the board if he's able to kill my taunt minion. He's got... this one guy that's like a lethal shot. So and he's got like 3 1/1s. So he equalities, and he's just gonna use his 1/1s to kill my taunt guy and then go face and win. But it spikes Wild Pyromancer for him and cleared the full board, and I go on to win the game.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
That's fantastic.
It was pretty special. I'm not gonna lie. Just absolutely hilarious, and we were both just like emote spamming each other about how epic it was. He was like, "That was a mistake." I'm like, "Greetings, well met, friend." That's
fantastic.
It was really awesome. There's a lot of really interesting plays. I was playing Warlock because it felt really good to, in my head I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna Siphon Soul something and then drop a Savannah High Main because that seems totally balanced. Like, why not do that?" And it was good. It just didn't. I don't think it was like an ideal one, but it was good enough. It got there.
Something that's broken.
Yeah, I think it's just Hunter, unfortunately.
Is there enough spells to play 30 spells in any class?
I don't think so, but there's almost no way it's correct to do so. But I will say my Warlock deck had a Twisting Nether in it.
Ooh.
And that was all because I saw Ben Brode's tweet about how he cast that. And
then got Sneeds.
It proc Sneeds, which killed it and gave him Kel'Thuzad.
Kel'Thuzad, that's so stupid. I can't believe that. I don't believe that happened. That's a bluff, Ben Brode. You're not bluffing me.
What makes me mad is that's his job. He gets paid to sit there and do that.
And he made that probably.
Yeah.
But speaking of bluffing, Jim, I think we finally got the segue. I completely forgot about the segment.
Yeah, we're supposed to do it at the top of the show. Oops.
We did. We did it at almost exactly the end of the show. So, listeners, we are going to continue the game called Dublevins Bluffs Death Blow. And for those of you who aren't aware of the game, the Blevins go on Reddit, or it's not always necessarily Reddit, but for the sake of the show, I go on Reddit and I find something stupid or crazy or weird that doesn't sound that believable, and I make up 2 other things, and I try to fool Jim into picking one of my fake things to be real. So I'm going to read 3 things, 2 of which are fake, 1 is real. Jim has to guess which one. He only gets 1 guess, and I don't give him any hints or anything. Here we go. Number 1, in Arena, a Reddit user. Oh, and by the way, the theme of these is this is Blackrock Mountain themed. Not like the cards are Blackrock Mountain, or maybe it's all sorts of Blackrock Mountain. BRM is the theme. Okay. In Arena, a Reddit user's Nefarian created not 1 but 2 Pyroblasts against his mage opponent. Number 2. In a Rag versus Nefarian brawl, Rag plays High Justice Grimstone, which lives a turn, spawns a Low Walker Cho. Nefarian, then hero abilities, gets an Unstable Portal, which yields a Rag. Rag then casts Unstable Portal, which gets a Nefarian. Did you write that down, Jim? Do you need me to read?
So it's just this convoluted thing of events that gets Nefarian.
There's a Nefarian. No. Nefarian has a Rag, and Rag has a Nefarian.
Okay, so each player has... Gotcha, okay.
Yes. Okay. And number 3. A Reddit user posted a video of a custom-made Blackrock Mountain cuckoo clock that at the strike of 8 says, "Die, insects!"
So I'm gonna throw out the cuckoo clock.
Number 1. Nefarian gets 2 pyroblasts against his mage opponent. Number 2. Rag casts Nefarian. Nefarian casts Rag. Number 3. A cuckoo clock that at the strike of 8 p.m. and a.m. says, "Die, insect!"
That would be a really good one, because if it went off right at 8 o'clock, that would be the best to let me know it's too late, man. You should already be at work. You're screwed.
It's got to do it at 8 because it does 8 damage to you, man.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it would only ruin my morning when I'd already ruined my morning.
It's just the massive punishment.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to say that the real thing is that Rag played Nefarian and Nefarian played Rag.
That is incorrect. That was Blevins' bull, if you will. And the real answer was the cuckoo. No, it wasn't the cuckoo clock. It was the Nefarian in arena, no less. The priest player played a Nefarian, got not 1 but 2 pyroblasts against his opponent in arena. That is the actual worst.
Yeah.
The only thing worse would be a cake that was a Ragnaros cuckoo clock as well. But now I do want a Ragnaros cuckoo clock. I kind of wish I had one now. I don't know what made me think of that.
Make it happen.
But I did. It could happen. I can't believe you bit the long, convoluted story of...
I wasn't sure it was so long and convoluted, or if like I just screwed it up. You know what I mean? Like I forced there to be a second explanation. It was pretty 50-50 in my mind, so I just
I'm glad. I had trouble coming up. I wanted to keep it like I want to have like a little bit of a theme for each one just for fun.
Right.
And I knew the cuckoo clock would never get a bite, but oh God. I didn't really think the other one would either. Oh, did we just destroy the show?
Yeah, I did. I broke it at least.
Oh,
what can you do?
All right, so we are now at Blevins 1, Deathblow 1, and DeBlevin Stumps Deathblow.
Yes.
Or Bluffs Deathblow.
So 1 and 1, and we will be doing Stump the Blevins in just a little while here, but before we do, we have to discuss the deck of the week, the deck tech.
Yes, and
it's not Aggro Priest.
It's not Aggro Priest.
I definitely didn't save it after I changed the name.
It is not Aggro Priest.
It is an Echo of Medivh mage deck, and it's a Savit's design. Who else did you credit with playing it?
Sifka. I saw it from Sifka first on Twitter, but I think I'm just assuming that I also saw Savit's play it, but I'm assuming that Savit's came up with it. This is a Savit's deck if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it's very fatigue mage.
Has duplicated.
It's a little different in the sense that it plays Molten Giant, so it gets a little more proactive with its trying to end the game.
It's like a combination of Freeze Mage, Fatigue Mage, and like the old Giants Mage of a long time ago. It's like a combination of all of those decks. And I played this deck. Yeah, Frozen Giants. Yeah, that was a great deck. I played a little bit of this. It seems sweet. It's definitely viable. And it's also in the vein of Freeze Mage. It's definitely one where you need to know what lines you need to be taking. You can't just play your cards willy-nilly.
Right.
Because I definitely messed up a number of times playing this deck. And I saw Savit's making some weird plays that ended up paying off, and I think that was because he's probably played way, way, way more of the deck than I have. And what I find most interesting about this deck has nothing to do with the actual deck itself, except for the Molten Giants, which I was watching That's Admirable, his stream, like a few months ago, and I go, hey, I've been thinking about, and he was playing Freeze Mage, by the way. I go, I've been thinking about playing a Freeze Mage variant where instead of Pyroblast and Antonitis. You just run a Molten Giant package. What do you think about it? And he's like, that's stupid. Why would you run Molten Giants? Yada, yada, yada. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Blah, blah, blah. You suck. Basically. And actually, that was a quote verbatim of what he said to me. And now it happened. So, suck it.
I think he also said, correct me if I'm wrong, your beard is bad and you should feel bad.
Yeah. He said, my beard literally will choke your beard out and cut it down.
It probably could happen, but what he doesn't know
I
is
mean,
that,
it definitely could happen.
What he doesn't know is that my beard would be there to back up your beard, and then he might be in
He
some
can't
trouble.
take on both beards.
I don't think it's true.
He definitely cannot.
When we don't fight fair here on Unleash the Podcast.
Oh, no, I'm a dirty.
We fight to win.
Yeah.
So basically, looking at
Brings
this
the gun to a knife fight. The winner.
You know, you called it like a freeze mage variant, and I do think it's significantly different than that.
It definitely is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it does play the ice blocks, but it doesn't play ice barriers. Instead, it plays duplicate. Duplicating sludge belchers is a phenomenal feeling. If you've never done it, I highly recommend you give it a try. And it highlights this Echo of Medivh. So it's adorable that the deck runs 2 Molten Giants. In reality, it plays roughly 6. You know, you're really going to look to combo out at least with one of your Echo of Medivhs after you've played 2 Molten Giants. You'll use the duplicates more often on sludge belchers. You know, if you have a duplicate down, you'll throw an Emperor Thorison onto an empty board, grab 2 of those guys.
Or Doomsayer. Doomsayer works.
Doomsayer will get there.
You know what's really sweet to duplicate, and I never thought about it, and I'd never done it before?
Exposure.
Emperor Thorison.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
You duplicated Emperor Thorison? That is insane.
Yeah, it'd be out of this world. Your combos would just cause them nothing. Like, at the end of that exchange, your Echo of Medivh that was in your hand for the first Emperor trigger would cost 1 at the end of all your Thorisons. And that leads...
And then you play the second one out, and then you play the Echo of Medivh and get 2 more Thorisons. And they get reduced, and they both get reduced by 2. Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah, so this is a really grindy control style deck. You're going to, get your opponent close to running out of cards when you play it. Probably not something you want to start your ladder runs with, at the beginning of a new season.
Not if you want to finish at any point.
At some point, even if it's a great time to learn it and play it. Don't be afraid to play it.
Sure.
But don't choose it as your main deck. I actually recommend Mech Shaman right now. I'm like flying up the ladder and don't know why.
Is it back in favor, Jim?
I really think it's a really good time for it on the ladder.
Any tweaks? Maybe we can talk about it.
I'm literally playing the exact same list that I played forever.
I still have it built.
2 bomb lobbers and all that jazz.
Oh, you're playing the crazy stuff.
Yeah, and just been rewarded for the bomb lobbers like crazy too. It's really been quite a decent month for like this. I feel like 10 games I've played. I'm rank 8.
You're gonna have to ship me the list.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it in the after show for sure. Which is coming up as we are done taking a look at this awful aggro priest build. Our bad.
Really bad. They didn't even put the right hero in.
I mean, we might have done aggro priest on episode 6, so it works out.
Yeah, probably. That's the new thing now. It's episode 6. We're doing the deck tech aggro priest. That's what's happening every time now.
Well, guys, we're on to the Q&A session, so Twitch chat, if you have any questions, please do put them in chat now. We will answer them. But before that, it's time to stump the Blevins. If you're not familiar, what that means is I'm going to give John 2 cards. He has to accurately do an imitation of the cards enter the battlefield sound effect. He's never done the attack, although it's technically in the rules that he's allowed to. But John, hit us with a sludge belcher here. Show him how it works.
Tugs feel funny.
So, yes, he is absurdly good at the voices, and nobody knows why. He spends way too much time practicing it, if he spends any time at all.
I spend a lot of time.
So we'll just get right down to it, John. The card that I think I accidentally showed you already, and you know it's coming, Boulder Fist Ogre.
I know that this is one of the ogres. I don't know if it's this one. It's
what you looking at? What you looking at?
He got there.
Boom.
Do you want to take a run at the attack sound?
No, I have no idea what it is.
Me smash.
Me smash.
There you go.
And just to check, anything near as good as Acolyte?
Oh.
No.
I can never hear these, so I can't.
Yeah,
so no.
I went out of my way to like let you see my face. No, it's
okay.
weird. Let's just get a reminder.
Yes.
Okay, that's the bar for death effects. That's clearly the best one. John, a very playable card. If you don't get this one, I will be fairly disappointed in you. Doomguard.
Doomguard is
Who dare summon me? Who dares summon me?
his attack is
A paltry task. A paltry
because
task.
it's like he's doing something with a chicken. It's a poultry task.
I think you need a vocabulary lesson, but we'll let your time on Reddit handle that for you. I'm sure you'll get plenty of it.
Yes.
Using the deck you used, but still having trouble, stuck on Loathib. Tips? Yeah, any tips on Heroic Next Rammus? He's stuck on Loathib. I assume you mean the deck I used. I'm assuming you got it off of my Twitter. I just don't remember the encounter and like the hero ability near enough to comment.
If you want to beat it yourself and like get the enjoyment of it, I don't remember exactly what that encounter is, but I think it has to do with killing the spores, and something like Fan of Knives is probably pretty good. I don't remember exactly. If you just want to beat it, just Google Heroic Naxxramas and like go to like either like Hearthhead or whatever, and like they have guides and like decks that you can beat them pretty easily with.
Yeah, if it's the one with the spores, I remember I played like Cruel Taskmaster, Elvish Archer, Whirlwinds, things that deal the 1 damage to the spores around taunt, so that way you can just never have a problem clearing them off and always getting value from it. And you know, even when you have the right deck and you have the way to abuse it, it's heroic. They're going to beat you anyways. So just keep at it.
Just keep running it.
If it takes 10 games, if it's a deck that was posted online, it's out there. You know, there's times I've had a deck where I'm like, nope, this feels like the right strategy. I'm going with it, and 15 games later, I finally get there, and that's
right.
That's what heroic is. It's not, you know, you shouldn't unlock it with the right selection of cards and just get it down. So just keep at it, and if you get frustrated and you don't want to brew up your own way to beat it, just Google it. You'll find it pretty easy.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Archangel, feel free, in the after show, you can throw out some more cards. One more quick question here. What kind of cards do you think is coming out? It's really tough to say.
No idea.
Yeah, it all depends on what the theme is. If it is Argent Tournament, there's not a whole lot that's super unique about that place that I could try to, it's everybody's invited from all the races.
Everyone, get in here.
Yep, and it's really impossible to say.
People on Reddit were saying something about like armor cards, like something about that story. They mentioned armor or something, so maybe there's like armor where you can like equip armor instead of equipping weapons. Like someone suggested that. I mean, I have no idea from a lore perspective or anything really if that has any sort of ground, but just from what people were saying on the comments of that Innkeeper's Tale, that's what people were saying. Yeah,
it's not like with BRM where dragons was such an obvious theme to it.
Right.
But yeah, they do specifically mention Murlocs in the post, so there is that. Like even the Murlocs were clad in armor, apparently. So.
Ooh.
We'll have to see. I like that idea though. That having read it, that makes sense. That maybe there's some kind of equipment, and we talked about it a little bit previously. With could other classes get weapons, and how would they do that? And maybe we're about to see it happen very soon. Maybe Ben Brode heard that episode and said, "Hey, I got to get on it. These guys have great ideas, and I don't want to have to hire them. I'll just steal them off the YouTubes."
Yeah. We don't need them on the team. They're already doing the work for us.
It's true.
Why pay for the milk why buy the cow when you can just watch the podcast on Thursday?
The Blevine. Why buy the Blevine?
Why? Yes.
Khaleesi of the Great Glass Sea. Other news quick before I forget, Ben Bro did confirm we are not getting Death Knights. They don't have planned to make you Death Knight anytime soon, so feel free to... I think his exact words were, feel free to stop leaving in a comment on everything on the internet that ever existed. Yeah, Ben Bro 2K15, I think.
Yep.
That's definitely not what he said, but...
It was basically what he said.
I'm just going to go ahead and add it on top of it, and hopefully people will listen if they think Ben said it.
Yes.
All right, guys. I'm Jim. That's John. Thank you for watching this week, and we will see you guys next week as well.
See ya!